And Tyson didn't give two fucks who he had a fight with.
How the fuck can you have 7 champions? 7 different belts? Anyway, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of another sort of dispute. You know, I think we both agree, get rid of all these fucking belts, have one. Hi guys and girls, thanks very much. It's Andy here, or Tubbs from Fighters Talk TV. My good pal Max, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Got a bit of a poorly leg. I managed to fall over the other day, and if other people follow my other social media channels have seen me do that, and I managed to damage my leg like an absolute knob. But can't be helped. And today on the show,
I wouldn't laugh if I say it.
I bet you did. and today, yeah, right. And today on the show, guys, we're going to be talking about belts, not the ones you wear, ones that they have in the fights. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, you can see the wall behind me, guys and girls. Obviously, I collect boxing memorabilia. Now, one thing that really annoys me is there's so many belts out now from the governing bodies. There's a number of governing bodies: WBC, WBO, WBA, WBU, IBO, IBF, IBA, and fucking IBS, IBC, B&Q, FBI. I mean, it just goes on. And then you've got...
It's going to be the alphabet belt soon.
Yeah, innit? But then, on top of that, you've got the world champion, the interim champion, the silver champion, the brand champion. I mean, listen, you might as well, if I enter professional boxing, let me pick a belt. I will have the belt of Essex. How's that? For super heavyweight. Just because I'm there. And, oh, mate, doesn't it annoy you? What do you think about that?
It is annoying. I think, well, back in the day, you had heavyweight belt, middleweight belt, you know, bantamweight. That was it, like one belt for each weight. Now it seems to be half a dozen in each weight.
Oh, don't forget Ring Magazine as well. Don't forget, you got the Ring Magazine belt as well. And you've got, I mean... or was it? And Tyson Fury claims the lineal championship, which isn't a belt; it's just a name or something like that. I mean, yeah. Shut the front door. It doesn't drive me mad. And guess what? All these champions, all different, they all claim to be the best in the world, but won't fight one another. You couldn't get Tyson Fury in the ring with Usyk. Why did that fight not happen? That would have been the best way.
Right, listen, I would have to say something, right? You think, when Mike Tyson first come around, yeah? Right? And I watched this as a fact, right? He had 15 fights 1 year, yeah? Back in the 80s. Conor McGregor had 14 fights over 8 years. You see what I mean? Like, and Tyson didn't give two fucks who he had a fight with. You know what I mean? But now, I can't fight him, well, I can't fight this person because I'm not going to earn £300 million now. Or I want a 60-40 split, 70-30. You know, it's all become greedy. That's all it is now, I think. Greedy.
Well, you know, Tyson says he's bringing the A game to the fight, which he did, right? And then he says, I want 70-30. Right? Yeah. And thinking that Usyk's going to go, hang on, I've got 3-4 of the belts here, you've got 2. What are you talking about? Why can't it be 50-50? Right? All right. Your deal accepted, but you've got to donate £1 million to the Ukrainian people against the war, right? That's what he said. So I sat there. I think it was pretty fair. And when I sit there and I look at that, and Tyson Fury, I'd hate to say this because he's obviously a fella, but it feels like his arsehole fell out. I mean,
I think he beat that Usyk ain't a mug, and he'll box him up because he fights in the later rounds like he does in the first 2 rounds. You know, and that's sort of unusual for a heavyweight to continually fight like it's just the first round. And
Tyson Fury's going, I'll easily beat you up middleweight and all the rest of it. Tyson Fury moves like a middleweight. If he honestly thought he was going to win that fight, no rematch clause. Really? No rematch, because what for? Why couldn't you do a rematch? You rematched Deontay Wilder? Are you serious? But you wouldn't rematch an Alexander Usyk Why wouldn't you do that?
He's fought many people. I can't remember off the top of my head, like, but he's fought many people 2-3 times, right, on a rematch. But with Usyk, he don't want to do it because he knows he could be back in trouble.
We get 2 fights, he gets beaten up in. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know what though, mate?
I think Tyson knows that deep down, right? He might be this 6'9", 300-pound geezer, right? But he knows Usyk is not a mug. He's tough.
And he does know that, doesn't he? I think.
And he fights with heart. He don't fight for money. He fights with heart. And that's not, in my eyes, he's a better boxer than someone who fights for money.
Yeah. And also, when I sit there,
he's fighting for his country as well.
Yeah, pride, innit? Pride.
Yeah.
When I sit there and I look at the whole sort of scenario between the two of them, what sort of pisses me off about the whole thing is do you know who's suffering? It's us, fans. We're suffering.
Yeah.
You know, we see Tyson Fury once or twice a year. You can't be the heavyweight champion fighting twice a year. Really can't.
No, you've got to be throwing at least 5-6 fights in a year.
Well, I don't know, 5 or 6. I'd be happy at 3, but you know, it's just inactivity when he's just not there. And it's really, it's for me. It's like, are you serious? I mean,
yeah. I think half the time when it comes to Tyson Fury, they've settled on a deal, which is obviously he's going to be earning 60 million out of it, and then he's like, well, no, what I do? If I fuck about long enough, I'm going to get more money. And generally, that happens, and he does get more money. But it's us have to pay for it. We'll suffer, the general public.
Well, that's it, and it's just
because obviously the more money he gets paid, the higher the pay-per-view goes.
Well, the other thing is as well, he says he's talking about legacy. So, you know, where is the legacy? I mean, I don't think Usyk's really bothered about Fury. He says, if you ain't going to fight, vacate the WBC belt. I want it. That's what he said. You know, vacate it. And Usyk said, you know, they're pissing around with everything else, and his management team said, listen, forget it. It ain't worth it. He's going to come up with more and more excuses. You're going to sit there and roll over and take it without grease. And it's just, you know, just going to end up negative for us. So what's the point? You know, you're fighting a lost cause. You know, I mean, I think there's so many good heavyweight fighters out there, but that can be fought. You know, but I mean, Tyson Fury been talked about. You know, when it comes to all, I know we're going off it, but Tyson Fury been talked about fighting. You know, going back to fighting Wilder again. Nobody wants to see that. You know.
No, that's like I've seen that on online and that, and my first comment was bore off. I don't want to see it. You know, the first 2 fights were right, but the third one, you know, was it really worth happening? Like the third fight, you know, I don't think, unless the fights are like what we see Saturday about Cordelia and the Russian, then I wouldn't be interested in watching them, because them fights, what action packed from round 1 to round 12, they're the fights you want to see. And if that happened over 3 fights and those action packed, I wouldn't care. I'll watch that.
I mean, but the same thing that people said about Joshua versus Usyk, right? Usyk is not the fighter for Joshua. You know, he really isn't. You always have that one nemesis out there, don't you?
Yeah, and I think Usyk's the nemesis for Joshua.
Yeah, and I think Fury's the nemesis for Wilder. Go on,
the only thing I didn't like about Joshua after the second fight of Usyk, when he stole his mic and went on some rant and all that, and obviously after he stormed out the ring and had to get told to go back, you know, he stole the limelight off Usyk, and it was his night. You know, he won, and that sort of, I lost respect for Joshua again on that bit.
I think sometimes it's easy. I mean, it's easy for us. We're not in that intense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the emotions and the adrenaline must be pumping like that. I understand that, but you know, how would he felt if Usyk done that to him? It'd been a different picture, a different story.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so we started off talking about all these different belts, right? Yeah. And I think I'm going to just gonna pull up my little bit of information here. Let's see how many world champions that we actually have in boxing, right? So let's have a list. Oh mate, I'll tell you, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so let's say they've got 5 recognised titles, right? So let's start with the heavyweights. The WBA Super Champion, obviously, is Alexander Usyk. The regular champion, what's the difference? Yeah. Right? The regular champion, Daniel Dubois. WBC's Tyson Fury. Yeah. IBF, Usyk. WBO, Usyk, right? And also they've got an interim champion, which is Zhang, because he's just beat, Joe Joyce. And then Usyk is the Ring Magazine champion. Okay, but I don't think that's right. I thought it was Fury was the Ring Magazine. He won it twice, didn't he? Yeah. Now there's only one, the Bridgeweight. Now, Bridgeweight is the weight between cruiser and heavy. This is a new thing that the WBC have put out. Lucas Rozansky is that one, right? Now you go to cruiserweight. You got a super champion, so Arsene Galamarin. Sorry if I don't pronounce that. Badu Jack, Jai Optina, Lawrence Okoli. Not Tina's the Ring Magazine. I mean, it's 5 fucking melts. So we're talking about let's just talk about the heavyweight division, right? Yeah. 7 champions. Right, yeah. 7 world champions and a regular and interim. That's without European champion, British champion, all that, which I understand is all levels going up to that, right? Yeah. How the fuck can you have 7 champions, 7 different belts in one weight division? You've got, regular champion of the WBO, interim champion. Listen. I'm not, we watch a lot of soccer here in the UK, right? We both support Arsenal. We've had a terrible couple of games and run in the season. If we come second, we're not going to sit there and go, yeah, we're the interim champions. We're going to go, well, we came second and threw it all away. Do you know what I mean?
We might. Yeah, we fucking lost.
We didn't win it.
No second place. First place only.
Exactly. So what kind of absurdity is this nonsense?
I think they need a bit of a shake-up on these belt situations. like you say, how can you have 7 champions in one weight?
Well, that's. I mean, they go, and there's lots of different weight divisions and all the rest of it, right? So I totally get that there's all different weights, and I'm sort of all for that, but. Oh, come on, fellas. I mean, do you know what it needs to be? Because recently, the UFC's parent company bought WWE, right, for about $9 billion, making a company worth $21 billion in entertainment. So the UFC, I think, was about 12, and WWE was about 9 and change, right? What needs to happen is that parent company that's bought that needs to buy the WBA, WBC, WPO, IBF, IBA, right, and the Ring Magazine, and put it all together and go, right, stop all this old bollocks. One champion, and if you don't fight let's say every 4 months, so 3 times a year, you have to vacate the belt. That's what needs to happen. The best need to fight the best. Okay, there don't need to be and they should scrap the rematch clauses. If you're fighting for a world title, there is no rematch clause because you've got to fight the number 2. There can't be any other way.
I think you're right there. You shouldn't have a rematch clause straight away. I think if you lost, you need to prove yourself again and fight your way back up to the championship spot again.
Yeah, I do.
That, to earn it, because I don't think it's fair. Say I lost against the champion, but the next man is just as good as me, but I'm going to jump straight back in for that next shot. I don't think that's right.
No, I don't think it's right.
I feel like, I lost. Right now I need to have another fight and build and get back into that spot again.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, right? I really, really agree. I mean, and the thing is that bugs me about it all is who is the real champion? How would you put a real champion? If these guys don't fight one another, how can they be the real champion? I mean,
I'll tell you what, I shouldn't say it, but in my eyes, I feel Usyk is the real champion, the real heavyweight champion, because he ain't ducked no one.
No, he ain't.
No, he you stick it on him, like, let's have a fight. He's like, all right, let's go.
I'll tell you something. When I look at Usyk and I look at how he fights, I'm really impressed, right? Yeah. But what he can't cope with is brawlers. Joshua tried to box him, and he was easier to deal with, except when he got hit in the side and hit in the body, right? However, he really struggled against Del Boy, didn't he? Derek Chisora. And I'll tell you what, I would put money that Chisora, you have another round, might have done the business and actually stopped him. Because you've got someone like Chisora who's going to take a hell of a whack. I mean, I don't think Usyk has the power to knock these heavyweights out.
Listen, that guy's on another level, mate. He's off key. And that man is a brawler.
Yeah, isn't it? And I sit there and I would, if you said to me, give me a fight for Usyk who you'd want to see, you can't have the Fury fight for who do you think he should fight? And I'll give you a name, right? And I want you to sort of, do you think this guy would have a chance?
You're told by my reaction.
Yeah. Alexander Usyk versus Dillian Whyte.
Now that'd be a fight I'd like to see.
Yeah, do you know why? Because he's a brawler like Chisora is, right? And he ain't gonna quit. Yeah. But and the thing, when you look at all of the situations the way it is, I mean, I'd even like Joseph Parker, coming in to try and reclaim some of his belts against Usyk. But I would love to see Dillian Whyte face Alexander Usyk, because I think White's coming towards the end of his career now. Towards the end of it, he's lost against Tyson Fury, so it'd be a good test for Usyk to go in and actually fight. But I think there'll be could be a bit of an upset with that, because the problem is, I haven't really seen knockout power from Usyk in the heavyweight division.
No, he's like a technical player, isn't he, Usyk? Whereas Dillian Whyte, he ain't as technical. He's just in there, and I'm just going to punch a face in. That's what he wants.
But they call him the body snatcher. So I'll tell you what, where I think Joshua went wrong, Joshua needed to inflict maximum violence, and he didn't. But I think someone like Dillian Whyte is going to give Alexander Usyk some trouble. But I wonder if Eddie Hearn would be willing to put that on, because he's in both camps.
Yeah,
he's in both camps, and obviously we both know who IFL TV guys. If you haven't joined, go and have a look at that in Coogan. We all grew up together. But if you go and look at that, we should be phoning up Coogan and saying, Coogan, have a word with Eddie Hearn. I mean, that's a fight I'd love to see. And he could do that. I'll tell you what, Dillian Whyte wouldn't turn that fight down in a million years.
Isn't it?
I would like to see that. And when you look at sort of the heavyweights in the range, he's in the top 10, isn't he? So he's a top 10 heavyweight. He is a legitimate contender. I mean, I'd like to see Dillian Whyte fight Daniel Dubois. I'd like to see Dillian Whyte fight Zhilei Zhang. I'm a big fan of Dillian Whyte. I really am.
No, but he's game. There's no. How can I put it? He don't fuck about. He's like, he tells you straight. You know what I mean? He goes in there to do the job.
But I tell you, I do like a Joe Joyce, right? I do like him. He's got a nice personality, that geezer. Really nice personality. Yeah. But until he learns to move his head, he ain't in the top 5.
Yeah. Listen, having a nice personality don't win you nothing.
No. I think he was the interim champion, wasn't he? The WBO interim champion, Joe Joyce. Just lost it to Zhang, but I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see Dillian Whyte perhaps in one last barnstormer.
You think Joyce respected his neck too much? That's why he lost.
No, Joyce didn't respect him enough. I think my opinion on that is that he came in that fight a stone lighter than he'd ever been in any fight previous. Okay, he thought that his chin was just going to walk through Zhang. All right, that's what he thought. Now he never went down. The doctor stopped the fight. Right, he does have a good chin, but he don't have a good eye socket. Right, no. And when you're being hit with that much power, don't matter who you are, right, and you don't move your head. So as the punch comes in, normally the natural reaction is to move away from the punch and slip backwards. Like that. So the idea is you take. Well, that's it. You take the punch away. You take the power off as you move with the fist. So. But he was just standing there, walking through it, and they said, as much as your chin is going to be is concrete, your eye socket isn't. So it was that, and it's a shame. It really is a shame. But I think, he's got to go away, Joe Joyce, and he's got to have a real long, hard think about how he's going to get up there. Yeah, and you've got some good fights with Joe Joyce. You've got Otto Wallin, who really took Tyson Fury all that way and cut him. Nearly stopped him for the same thing. I mean, you could have argued the Otto Wallin Tyson Fury fight. If that fight was stopped due to the eye injury to Tyson Fury, we could very well not see Tyson Fury after that again, because I think he could have possibly considered retirement, just like Billy Joe Saunders. I haven't seen him since he lost to Alvarez. Canelo.
Yeah. He's gone in like hiding in that. It's like I feel like Saunders, I think he should come back and have a fight. It's been, was it over a year?
Yeah, a lot longer than that. But Saunders as well. I know we're Brits, and so we got sorry to our American fans out there and that. But I'd like to see him back in the ring with Eubank Jr. I know there's other fights out there for him, but I would like to see it. That's been a rivalry ever since he was knee high to a grasshopper, wasn't he?
Definitely. That'd be a fight I'd like to go and watch.
Yeah, it could be a good fight there. And also, when you sit there and you look at, you go down some of the weight divisions, in which we'll talk about in 2 seconds. I mean, let's step down to cruiserweight now. Badu Jack, he won his fight not so long ago. He's knocking on a bit, as they say. 28 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. Now you've got our fellow Brit in there, Okoli, right? Lawrence Okoli. I think he was a student of Anthony Joshua, wasn't he? He's a devastating fighter. Yeah. Now, I mean, if I'm talking about Lawrence Okoli, I would probably want to pit his wits against Badu Jack. I think there's a legitimate WBC, WBO fight there. Jay Opitea, which is another one, who's the IBF champion. I just want to see some of these fighters start to unify these divisions. Because if you then because obviously Jay Opitea, he's like the IBF and the Ring magazine. I don't really count the Ring magazine as not one of the major 4. Do you know what I mean? The major 4.
Yeah, that's
all
just
different
like
champions. The Ring magazine. I mean, it's a prestigious thing, isn't it? Step down to light heavyweight, Dimitri Bivol, and now he's Bivol was the one who gave Canelo Alvarez a lesson, if you remember that. And you got Bertabiev as well in that, who's WBC, IBF, and WBO. Those two need to get in a fight. That'll unify that division. Light heavyweights, lovely. Super middleweights, that's already done. Canelo Alvarez has got everything there. But once again, you've got regular champions, interim champions, and whatnot. And it's quite interesting because the fight's coming up between Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder. John Ryder is the interim WBO champion. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah. That's our boy. And if he
a lot of these fights coming up, I think there's going to be some really, really good, interesting fights, And when I'll tell you, I can't wait for Canelo to fight again because I love his style, you know what I mean?
Well, it's coming up, isn't it? He's fighting John Ryder. So that'll be interesting because John Ryder, if he wins, becomes the undisputed super middleweight champion. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, that Canelo really is, he is, mate. I remember the devastating knockout of Khan.
Well, look at the eye damage he did to Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, listen, and they say you threw the towel in. Why did he can't fight him? When your eye socket gets smashed in, you can't fight.
Yeah.
They're a stupid man to fight, and I think his ring man or his quarter man was right throwing the towel in.
Absolutely. I think
just going back to the knockout of Khan. He knew he hurt him because he come back to him sort of knelt down like you're right sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He hit him. That was a sweet punch, and he was out cold for you with the deck.
Definitely. So let's step down to the lightweights then. Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis. Devin Haney's got everything. The regular champion, Gervonta Davis. That's got to be a fight, and Haney versus Davis. It's got to be. Obviously, we've just seen that he's not going to want to fight for a little while. Yeah. I mean, if you want legacy, you've got to become undisputed. There's no two ways about it. You've got to do that. I don't like all these split fights.
Listen, look at the undisputed. Look at Joe Kawasaki.
Well, he weren't undisputed, was he? He was just undefeated. And there's argument when you look at Joe Kawasaki. Did he fight? Did he fight people in their prime? That was the argument that they have with that, you know.
Yeah, he went for his whole career, didn't lose, and he done well. And you can say that about Mayweather. No, 50-0. Did he fight true champions? No, I mean, was they all past it?
Well, I don't think they all got past it. I think he had a couple of.
No, I wouldn't say every fight was like that, but we're going 50-0. You know, his last fight, like 2 fights before that, one was against Conor McGregor, and then another one was the Chinese fella, or Japanese, whoever he was. They were these fights at the end of his
but this
career.
goes back to the YouTube boxing fluff again, doesn't it? Do we really want to see that? Do we really want to see that? No, definitely not. Anyway, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of another sort of dispute. You know, I think we both agree, get rid of all these fucking belts, have one, and then the best fight the best, no rematch clause, you got to work your way back to the top. So, you know, if the company who owns the UFC and if the company who owns the UFC and the company that owns WWE now has a spare $20 billion more, go and buy up all the world titles, amalgamate them all into one and fuck them all off and do something else. Because that to me is what the fans deserve. You don't fight 3 times a year, you don't keep your belt.
Yeah,
Simple
that's
as that.
Yeah,
if number 2 ain't available, fight number 3, or number 2 and 3 ain't available, fight number 4. That's how it works. You know, that's how it should be. And so anyway, guys, thanks very much for joining us today. Don't forget the like and subscribe button, as we do like to earn a few quid, and currently we earn fuck all, so it would be nice. Anyway, guys, thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon.